Welcome to a tutorial on navigation using Google Earth. So just to introduce you to this program, let's go through some of the options. On the left-hand side, we have a search bar that will allow us to search different locations, as well as to get directions to those locations. Then down below we have places, so those would be previously saved places or favorites that you can expand and take a look at. And then we have the layers, and this is a really interesting feature of Google Earth that just isn't available in Google Maps for the most part. So you can start adding information onto the map. So right now we have the map of North America, but it's looking pretty plain. When I hit borders and labels, now it's going to overlay our borders on there for us. And then places that have been added, photos, that'll take a moment because there's so many photos that have been added to these. And then our roads, and being far away right now, you're not going to be able to see. There we go, that's a little bit easier to see that a lot of information's been added. And I just did that by clicking this little plus button over here to zoom in. I can also navigate using this scroll button at the top. Okay, so I'm going to go back, see my home province of Alberta. There we go. To continue with the layers, we can start adding 3D buildings on here, as well as ocean information, and even the current weather will be added. Gallery is information that other users have added to the maps, so different annotations, global awareness, and then any other information. So as you can see, as these are generating, it's giving us so much information than just a plain map. Okay, now that we're looking at all these layers, I think I'm going to simplify it a little bit, and I'm going to take the gallery out, and I'm going to take global awareness out in the more. And I think I'm also going to just take 3D buildings out and oceans, just to keep it a simpler map. Then under search, I'm going to look for my high school, the high school that I teach at right now. So that's called St. Joseph High School. And because that's a very common name, I'm going to add Edmonton, Alberta. I'm going to hit the search button. And sure enough, it finds it for me. So I'm going to click on that. And it's going to zoom in for us. Great. So now we've found the location, and it's going to link it up with the Google information about that school. So you can go to the website, you can see reviews on it, you get the phone number as well. I'm going to click out of that though because I'm not really that interested in that right now. Also, just to be aware, when you're using this, you also have icons along the top that can help you now that you've found a location. So you can drop a place mark there for your use later. You can add a polygon if you wanted to start annotating around St. Joe's, or you can add a path that would kind of show a route towards St. Joe's, or you can upload an image. You can record a tour. You can show historical imagery, and this is so cool for history teachers. So, okay, here's the map. St. Joseph's in the middle. And now as I use the scroll, it's going to change that map according to the year. So now I'm back in 2013, looks very similar. What happens if I take it back to 2008 or 7 or 4? You can see that there's been a little bit of change. Not in the high school itself, because the high school itself has been there since the 1930s. However, in the surrounding neighborhood. And if you were doing a much larger map of countries, say in Europe, and you do this historical slider, that can be a really interesting thing for students. Then we have the sun at various times, so it's showing us right now where the sun is at 2:26. If I scroll back, it'll show us what the sun was like back at 3:50 a.m. when we were all asleep in our beds. And then here, completely different than this map, this will allow us to switch between Earth, sky, Mars, and moon. Then we have a ruler right here if you were going to do some calculations. A button to email this result, a button to print this result, a button to save this image, or a button to switch to Google Maps if you're looking for a simpler interface. Okay, so that's all the icons that we have here. But then we have probably the most important section, which is how to zoom in. So I'm going to zoom, 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 zoom. So here's my high school. It's quite a nice little school. Okay, so we're looking at it from the aerial view, but we've got this little guy right here. And if I take him and I place him at the front of the school, now we're at Street View. Okay, I'm going to click on this, and it's actually got us placed on the road outside the school. So we're just going to take and drag. And there we go. Here's my school. And you can actually take a 360-degree tour. And you can, I believe you can even like go around the school as well. Okay, so which is pretty cool. So, but I'm going to hit Exit Street View to take us back to our map. Go back to the aerial, and now I'm going to hit the Get Directions button, because this is what most people use Google Earth for, besides just viewing different locations. I'm going to go, okay, I want to go from St. Joseph High School, Edmonton, Alberta. Oops, that's somehow there we go. And I want to end up at Education South, University of Alberta, where I'm taking this class from technically. Then I'm going to hit Get Directions. So now it's very similar to Google Maps in that it is giving me a route to the university, going down 109th Street. And if I want to use transit instead, it'll help me with that and give me directions. Or if I want to walk, it will do that for me. What's the safest way to walk? Or if I want to bike, it'll give me the safest way to do that. Again, if I want to see what the university looks like, where my classes actually are developed, then I can go ahead, click on there, and use the scroll bar to zoom in. And it will let me see Education South. I'm actually going to do a quick street view just for those people in our class or looking at this website who have never actually been to the University of Alberta. Okay, so this is the education building that I spent my bachelor's degree in, and I'm now taking courses through via online. And I've actually had students use this tool for some really interesting things. We were studying of mice and men, and I had some students, without my prompting, just use Google Earth to look up Salinas Valley, and they looked it up, and I mean, obviously it looks a lot different than it did in the Great Depression, but they saw a short man and a tall man walking down the street when they went down to Street View, and they're like, George and Lenny, it's George and Lenny, which might sound really silly, because it is, but it's also such a neat thing for kids to like really connect the idea of real life locations with the literature that they study or with the history that they study too. Thank you.